The critique for Josh Kendrick for the narrative part one. I'm first going to talk about the elements that I see, and then I'll talk about the principles. So the very first element that I notice is the value between the lightness over here with the vignetta that's created, and then the darkness over here. It's so black that you almost wonder what's going on over here, but you can't see anything. There also is the space. So the space from the right to the left, how there's more space over here. Not even just more space, nor more blank space. It's white. There's nothing there. And then the black. It's black. There's something there. Black fills darkness. And then the hand. And so that space, and then even the distance between us and the thumb, and then way over here is the pinky, and we almost feel so far away from it. And so those are two elements that I think really pulled towards this. Obviously, there are always more than what elements that I listed off. There are several more that you use, but those are two that I really truly noticed while I was viewing your photo. Next, we have the principles that you used, and again, there are probably a lot more principles that you use that I didn't explain, but you have obviously used them in your photo. So the very first one that I kind of noticed is the movement. So the movement of this hand getting pulled down, causing those blood streaks, and you can feel the hand getting pulled down, and you can physically see that hand is getting pulled down, and thus leading us to this movement of starting up here where you know the hand originated from and pulling it down slowly. On top of that, we also have the use of the variety. So this goes back to the value as well. We have the variety of the lightness and the darkness, and we have that really white spot in the center right here, and then we have the darkness over here as well as the darkness of the hand. And so it's using the variety of the differences between lightness and darkness to create this more eerie look. For me, I would say that this image is obviously a nightmare. You get that nightmarish view, and you have this feeling that someone's there and something just happened, and they happen to touch blood, and then they happen to be using the wall as support, and then they pull their hand down. And this is very much what I would picture in a horror movie, with a girl or a guy running from whatever they're running from, and they grab a hold of the wall and they just pull their hand down, and creating that streak of blood that we see in the background, which that creates the theme that I think you're going for of that nightmarish view. The improvements that and the changes that you could use, there's not much. I would say that you did an awesome job compositionally, using the rule of thirds and using the rule of thirds, and using the foreground and the contrast of white to black. So compositionally, I think your photo is great. I think moving forward for the narrative part two, that you should think about emotion as well. And so what emotion is that person feeling that's, the hand is connected to, in order to portray exactly what we're needing to portray as an audience, because that's what is important, is obviously portraying that theme that we're trying to get at, because that is what you are wanting to show your work as. And so if the emotion is kind of what you're missing, put that in, because I feel as though when you look at this picture, you could feel scared, but I feel like even if you added a second picture to this and you showed exactly what that person was feeling as soon as they touched that wall, whether they felt a sense of I'm free, or they said a sense of like I'm scared, I'm gonna die. So that's the only thing that I think you should look for. You did a really good job on this photo, and I'm excited to see what you do for narrative part two.